T. Gray and MK, you are now cleared for flight school takeoff.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
All right. Well, speaking of good parties and getting this opportunity into the hands and the faces of people, I can't wait. I can't think of a better person to bring on than the person who taught both Mark and myself and countless of other people in this industry how to do good parties. We've called them different things over the years, but at the end of the day, a good party is a good party. He's just an incredible visionary, and he really is about systems. And we're going to kick this thing into high gear. We've been talking about it at the office, and he was like, you know what? I'm coming on flight school. I want to talk to the people, and I want to let them know what we're going to do so that we can get them on board with us. So folks, let's get ready to give a virtual round of applause and warm flight school welcome to our CEO, the GOAT. Do we have any more letters for this guy? HB himself, Mr. Holton Bugs. Come on here, HB. Where you at, brother?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How we doing?
Fantastic.
We're great.
That's what
We're
I'm
right on
talking
time,
about.
sir.
What's that?
We're right on time.
Dude, I was like, I'm sitting there like, okay, well, yeah, 4 minutes. That's pretty quick, for announcements, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, guys, I want to say good morning to everybody who is out there all over the world. I saw all of those people from different places, and I'm excited to be on flight school here. I know I came and hijacked it last week, and it's one of my favorite things to do. So today it wasn't an interruption. It was just a complete flight school takeover. I told them yesterday or 2 days ago, as we were sitting in the office, we've been doing some planning for 2024 and beyond, obviously. And I said, you know what? No, what you got planned for flight school? I'm doing it. I'll do flight school. So here I am, right here on flight school. It's always great to be here. And I want to appreciate Mark and T. Gray and all of you as well. I know some of you have tuned in. I know we've got some people on here who have never missed a flight school since the beginning of time, or some who've never missed it since the beginning of their start with Ibüümerang. So congratulations to you. Some people said never, ever, never miss flight school. Never miss. I know we've got some people who got perfect attendance, which is great. I love it. I love it. I love it. These guys here obviously have perfect attendance and have been here dedicated from the very beginning. And that is awesome. That is awesome because, weekends is sometimes where no matter whether they've gone on vacation with their families, wherever it is, hey, listen, they'll take away and do flight school and get back to the family activities. So I really, really, really appreciate that. Today I came on, I'm here for a specific reason today. And really today I wanted to come and do some training today and talk about really closing out the year. How do we close out the year? And what's the purpose of closing out the year? Well, one of the purposes for closing out the year is to make sure that you get a running start for next year. So many people right now are making plans for 2024. How many of you have plans for 2024? Just put a yes in the chat if you are. Give me a yes in the chat. Right? So many of you are making plans for 2024. I may sound a little stuffy. Yesterday, I don't know what it is. I mean, just it seemed like the pollen came in the air last night. And I've got a little stuffiness, so I've got my water here. But anyway, it won't stop the train, I tell you that. But 2024 plans, we make plans quite often. All of us, it's kind of what we've been taught to do. We've been taught how to, it's a new year. We come up with these cool sayings, new year, new you, things of that nature, all of the things that make us feel like we're actually doing something. And the thing that I want to talk to you about is not necessarily just the verbiage, just the talk. I want to talk to you about the walk, okay? The walk. And what I mean by that is the actual things that you do to get yourself prepared for the following year. Those who wait for January just to really start your new year, the majority of the people, what I find, they actually don't accomplish a whole lot. It's because they're actually waiting they're waiting for time. They're waiting for an actual clock to tick to say, well, I'll only start my dream when the clock ticks January 1. Well, that's what I call a quantity decision. There's two types of decisions that you make. Okay, actually three. Indecision, which is one, which is you don't make a decision. The second decision is a quantity decision. Quantity decision means I go with the flow. What everyone else is doing, it sounds right. This is what I'm supposed to do. And that's the majority of people in business. That's the majority of people that we know. They kind of like follow the entire crowd. We call those the cows, okay? You know, why? Why do we call them cows? Not putting them down, but cows just kind of go and they just move. They don't have any leadership. They just kind of, if you got, you know, 100 cows, they herd all together. And all you have to do is take one little sheepdog, right? And that dog can actually lead hundreds or thousands of cattle. And all the cattle are going to do is they're going to follow whoever's the first cow, and the other one's going to follow the next one. The next thing you know, you have thousands following one lost cow. And that's the reason why most people don't accomplish their dreams. It's the reason why most people don't succeed. Really, when you think about it, it's simple to succeed. It's not easy because you have to get you out of the way. You have to get over yourself in so many situations. Many of you know my story, and I'll share a little bit more as how I, got to the point of understanding that there's no secret to success, but I started to understanding the methodologies that brought upon success in my life and in my business. Okay, and I apply it to everything. But that second level of that second level of decision is quantity. Quantity. If the masses are making this decision, then invariably I just kind of go along with the flow. So really, the quantity decision, it's not really a decision. It's almost a forced path of action. Okay. Let me give you an example of what I mean. How many of you remember a long time ago when you said, I'll never put my credit card on the internet? Or your parents used to say that, right? Or many of you would say before, I'll never pay for bottled water. Now, some of you don't even understand that there was a time that water wasn't bottled or it was foreign to drink bottled water, right? But you said that before, I'll never pay for bottled water. You didn't make a quality decision. It was that everybody else started doing it. Everybody else started online shopping. Everybody else started paying for water as they told you, hey, listen, potable water is bad for you and it's got all of these chemicals and whatever it may be. The same water that we had 100 years ago was the same quality of water that we have today. But obviously, it's a commercial. It was a reason that they were able to take something that we already had that we were actually getting for free and say, you know what, we're going to put it in a bottle and make sure that it's safer for you to drink. And because it's safer for you to drink, you'll pay, I don't know, this bottle right here maybe costs, I don't know, it's $1 per bottle. It says the pH on this is 9.5 to 10.5, all right? So now, and what they do is slap nice little labels on it. Now, they got me too. So look at it. It says premium water, right? Premium. And I'll pay $1 or something for that. Now, here's the thing I want to share with you, and I want you to understand this. What does this have to do with goals? It has everything to do with it. Because do you know that this bottle of water is not regulated at all? Okay. Somebody says it's about $4, right? I don't know what it is, but I just buy a lot of it. Why? Because I didn't make a decision. I didn't make a quality decision to buy this water. I made a quantity decision. That's what I did. I made a quantity decision. Because everybody else is doing it. You walk to the grocery stores and guess what? They have bottled water stacked all the way up. You go to the convenience stores, they have bottled water stacked all up. So what happens is that they actually created an entire market and a multi-billion-dollar industry. And it was really more of a trick. What they did is they said, What if we can take something that people consume for free and make billions and billions and billions of dollars a year on it? What we'll do is we'll take their water, put it in a different container, and sell it to them. Now, some of you may not understand how that actually happened, but it's what took place. And so many of us got caught up in making a quantity decision, as so many people caught on the bandwagon, and you saw all the commercials and all of that kind of stuff telling you, fear-based marketing, telling you, hey, listen, if you're drinking water from your house, it's going to do this to you, it's going to do that to you. And none of it was true, just to be candid with you. Are there some areas that have bad water? Yes, there are. But to make a long story short, it was a quantity decision, and it happens all of the time. And that whatever the masses do, we do it. And so one of the success traits that I always talk about is it takes a strong fish to swim against the current, okay? Any dead fish can flow along with it, all right? Any dead fish can flow along with the current. And so today is really about you being able to make a quality decision for 2024 and be that strong fish that swims upstream, that fish that swims against the current. And what do I mean by swimming against the current? You'll swim against the things that are the norms. I want to let you know that on this call here, everybody who's watching, and I know we have people who are in groups that may be watching, right? I want you to know that you already broke the norm. The majority of the people are not sitting here getting themselves educated. The majority of the world is focused on something else. I was reading a statistic the other day, and it says that the average person, okay, the average person has a 50-to-1 E to E ratio. E to E ratio. Now, what's the E to E ratio? Entertainment to education ratio. That means that the average person spends 50 times more on the exterior of their head getting entertained than they'll spend on the interior of their head getting educated. Okay, 50-to-1. And in some areas, some cultures, it's 200-to-1. I want you to think about it, 200-to-1. So if we'll spend 50 times more money being entertained, that means that we're spending more money on pleasure, more money, and we'll put more of our resources on things that have very little to do with our future. And obviously, if you're here today on this call, that means that you're one of those people who are actually taking your time. And it's not just the money, it's the time as well. The majority of the time is actually spent on entertainment versus education. This is why social media for some, becomes a really big time waster because of the entertainment factors that we have. So you're here today. And number one, what I want you to do is I want you to give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself in the chat, give yourself some 8s in the chat. Okay, give yourself some 8s in the chat. Why? Because you've already broken that norm. So you're not the cow. You're not the dead fish that are swimming with the current. What you are that strong fish. You are that rhino. So you can't take a sheepdog and line up a bunch of rhino and have all the rhino go together. It just doesn't work that way. And so I want you for the rest of this call knowing who you are. I want you understanding that you are already amongst the elite. Don't worry about what your results are right now. Okay, don't focus on that. Don't always look at the scoreboard and say, well, you know, scoreboard says this is what I am, so this is who I am. Your scoreboard is nothing more than the result of who you used to be. Who you used to be. That's what the scoreboard says. This is who I was. So the results that I got this year, the results that I have today, is based off the books that I've read, the people that I've associated with, the skill sets that I've developed over the last 6 months to 2 years. It takes about 6 months to 2 years to take a new skill set, to take a whole new set of ideas and actually go out and produce maximum results. It doesn't take 6 months to 2 years to change. It takes 6 months to 2 years to actually maximize the new person that you're becoming. So when I'm here saying that you are that strong fish, it means that you can now swim upstream. It means that you have the opportunity to make that third decision, which is called a quality decision, not quantity, quality decision. And so that quality decision is going to be, I know that I'm going to be swimming upstream. I know that I'm going to be doing things coming this year that most people will not do. Let's talk a little bit about some of these things. Let's talk about it. When you think about it, what I want you to do right now is I want you to think about some of the people that are not a part of your business. Good people, but and good friends of yours, but you can already look at their life based off of their activity and their actions, and you can determine, I don't believe there's going to be massive change in their life over the next year or two. How many of us right now, you can identify that there's not going to be change in a person's life, right? Yeah. You say, well, HB, don't judge. No, we do have the right to judge. Okay. I don't prejudge. So I don't meet you and don't know anything about you and just look at you and look at how you smile or look at how you wear your hair and make a determination from there. No, that's prejudging. But if I've been a friend of yours, if I've been associated with you, or even if I've been in business with you, and I know the last 6 months that you haven't talked about a book that you've read, you haven't talked about an audio that you've been listening to, you haven't talked about a podcast that you really enjoy, you haven't mentioned anything about education, that you've got that 50-to-1 ratio or that 200-to-1 ratio, whereas you're spending the majority of your time on entertainment versus education, I can look at you and determine this coming year of 2024 won't be much different than your 2023. You're just going to be 1 year older. Okay, I can make that judgment. I can make that judgment. You have to remember, stop. I want us to stop being so sensitive about being judged. We're judged everywhere we go. You go to the bank and you want a mortgage. What are they going to do? They're going to judge you. They're going to say, show me your credit history. Show me your income statement. And what they're going to do is they're going to take you and they're going to judge you and look at you. The credit bureaus, what they do is they judge you by how often and timely you make your payments. Okay? We get judged all the time. Little girls from the very beginning, they enter these beauty pageants. And what's the purpose of entering the beauty pageant? So you can have a panel of people to say, I am going to judge you and determine who's the best at whatever it may be. We watch these shows today, all of our, many of the reality shows that we have, like, Who Wants to Be a Dance Star or whatever. I don't know what the name of it is. You know what I'm talking about. Who think they can dance, or America's Got Talent, Europe's Got Talent. The other one, I forgot, The Voice. All of those things are about being judged. And when we get into our business and our social circle, when we get judged, we're offended that somebody's judging us, but that's what we do. We will love to watch people being judged. But if you notice, they never prejudge them. They always wait till they give them some level of performance and say, nope, you're not good enough. And so what I want you to do with your own business, as you think about it right now, in your own circle of people, I want you to determine, first of all, the environment. Being able to judge, what is your environment going to be like moving forward? Are you going to be hanging around the exact same people? I can tell right now I'm getting into what was supposed to be another call, but this is good stuff here, right? And it's not so much that you are, that the people are bad, but sometimes what you have to do is you have to make a decision as to, are the activities that I'm doing and the people that I'm associating with, how much are they contributing to my E or my E ratio? Are they contributing to my entertainment ratio, or are they contributing to my education ratio, or are they contributing to where my goals are going? Here is what you do. Number one, there's two adjustments that you're going to have to make. It doesn't mean that you cast your friends off. Now, those friends or those associations of people who've made a decision that, you know what, life is the way it's going to be. There's not going to be any change. I'm not motivated to change. I got my job. You know what? I take a vacation once a year, and here's what I've got, a retirement plan, and I've got an IRA that I believe is going to be there for me one day. Those people, you know, they're just not motivated. And we know that. So what you got to do is you got to determine, number one, am I going to be the thermostat in the room or the thermometer in the room? Why? The thermometer reveals what the temperature is. So if the temperature is one of, you know, settle for attitude, lackadaisical attitude, non-motivated attitude, content attitude, lazy attitude, if you're going to be, if that's the temperature in the room and you're going to be the thermometer, you're going to allow the room to determine your future, which means that you're making now quantity decisions. Or you can choose to be the thermostat. The thermostat determines the temperature in the room. So when I go into a room of people, I don't care if it's my friends, I don't have to get rid of all of my friends. Why? I'm not a thermometer, I'm a thermostat. So when I walk into the room, and the room may have been boring, or I walk into a dinner and I may be with the, you know, ambassadors or whatever it is, and the conversation may be on, you know, all of this crap, whatever it may be, for a moment. Nothing wrong with just having, you know, baseless conversations sometimes, but I know I've got to protect my mind, and I'm always thinking, how is this conversation leading me towards my goals? Take a commercial break. There we go. How is this conversation leading me towards my goals? Now, you say, well, why is this so important? Because most of you think that the big success comes from all the work that's done. And you're right. What type of work, though? It's the micro decisions that you make throughout the day that determines your outcome. It's the micro decisions that you make. Yeah. And so what am I saying here? So if I walk into a room and the conversation is not where I need it to be, and the conversation is going to be a downer, I won't look back and say, wow, that was some great conversation that we had. I actually learned something from that. And it's okay to have conversations that are purely entertainment based. It is okay. So I'm not telling you that you've got to be around all of your friends and it's always got to be about business or personal development or personal growth. No, but here's what I can tell you. I have studied successful people my entire adult life. My entire adult life, I've studied successful people. And what I notice about successful people is that there's always, 100% of the time I'm around successful people, there's always information that they are going to share that they just recently learned. Not entertainment news that they just read about. Information that can improve the quality of your life. If you're not around people who are sharing that type of information, then you've got to be that thermostat and you've got to bring the new information and raise them up. What you will notice by being the strong fish is that some of them may not want to come back to dinner with you. Hey, you know what? Let's go have dinner. Yeah, you know, man, I'm busy. And when you start to notice that, that's a sign that you're doing something right. And do you know that the majority of people will look at that and say, man, my friends don't, they're not inviting me or to dinner or to lunch, or, we go bowling and I'm not invited anymore. It's because you've made them uncomfortable for being a cow. See, cows are only comfortable if they're around enough other cows. That's the only, but a cow, can you imagine a cow being around a bunch of rhinos? No. Why? Because that cow is intimidated. That cow is like, hey, I'm out of my element here. This is a rhino. And no, I need the whole group. I need some security here. And so I need 50 other cows to do the same dumb stuff that I've been doing to make me feel good about what it is that I'm doing. I'm giving you, guys, I'm giving you game right now. These are just small things that we do in terms of our decision making. So today, here's what I want you to do today. I want you today to determine today, who are you going to be associated with? Now, don't make announcements. Okay. You ever notice lions don't make announcements? They just show up. And everybody knows that there's a lion. The lion that show, hey, Mustafa, I'm here. No, doesn't work like that. A lion just shows up. Why? Because a lion knows that it's a lion. So you don't have to walk into the room, and say, hey, listen, guys, you know what? I'm here now and I've just been reading all of these books and I'm going to change the topic. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you right now how to become the leader. And this plays into everything that I'm going to talk about with closing out the year so we can get prepared for next year. So today is about closing out the year, but I'm letting you know mentally where you have to be and start today. Don't start tomorrow, start today. So how do you do that? You say, well, how do I become a better recruiter? How do I become a better leader? How do I become a master at communication? How do I become a master at having people want to know what it is that I know? It's one way to do it. Learn how to insert the right question to a person or a situation. That's it. And have an interest in what the answers are. See, most people think leadership is about saying the right things. Success is about saying the right things. Closing is about saying the right things. Being a great leader is about saying the right things and being able to present the right things. No, it's about asking the right question. Okay. Being able to ask the right question. So now let me give you an example. Let's just say I'm at the barbershop, and at the barbershop, specifically for men, it's a way to have all the type of conversation that you want to have. It's our country club. But if I'm there and the conversation is just so static and it's just the same thing over and over and over and over, and it's useless, or it gets real negative, I'll ask a question. Okay. I'll ask a question. And you can insert the question on the same topic. Let's just say, for example, it's about it's maybe about sports or maybe about politics or whatever it is. And I come in sometimes and I ask what I call, see, here's the dumb question that I ask. This is what I call the dumb question. I act as if I don't know and I want their information. Okay. And so they're complaining about this, and I'll say, let me ask you a question. Okay. I'll give an example. Let's take an example of what was recently maybe controversial. Okay. In sports. Okay, let's just take we got this situation here. We have a coach named Deion Sanders. Many of you know, some of you don't know, but that doesn't matter. Well, he came in, he changed college sports, and he changed sports. He came from a predominantly Black university, and he really did an incredible job and had all the eyeballs on this university and what we call HBCUs, okay, historically Black colleges and universities. And then he did so well that he got an offer, and he was the first coach to ever come from HBCU to going to what's called a Power 5 school. And he went there and he got, a bunch of money, and college sports this year, college football had the most watched views ever in the history of college sports, and largely because of Dion. And they also had a losing record this year. They won 4 games and had 8. And so a lot of the controversy was around, well, why didn't he take that information or keep that and keep it in the Black community, right? Or keep it at HBCUs and bring all of that attention. So that was a real big debate, right? And so I'll ask a question. I'll ask, because you'll hear it and everybody has their own opinion, and it gets useless. And so I'll ask a question as to, well, let me ask you a question, okay? What do you think is most important for Dion? If you were in his situation, what do you think is most important? The future of having made a big impact, or the future of making an impact only with people who you know? Making an impact to people on a global basis, or making an impact to people that you know? And you ask a question, and then now, next thing you know, what you've done is you've changed the entire negative narrative. And what happens is whoever you ask the question to, or if it's a group, they start to now educate you on what type of decision that they would have made. And so now the topic is the same, but now I'm talking more solutions. I'm talking more solutions right now, right? Because there is no answer, because that's his decision. But now, instead of it just being about this and all these opinions, now we're focused on what some solutions could be. Well, let me ask you a question. What do you think the solution is so that we can have more people like Dion and more professional athletes to start, being coaches at some of these larger schools? And now what you do is you get them to start thinking. They don't even know that you've changed the entire story, changed the narrative. You kept them on the same topic. I can't go in there and say, when the topic's about Dion or college sports, and go in there and say, hey guys, you know what? Tell me, what do you think about Tony Robbins and his Date with Destiny seminars? No, that's going to be stupid. Okay. And they're going to look at me like, dude, what are you talking about? Okay. You keep the same, but you ask a question that there really is no answer, but it allows you to have the organization or the people start to think. You become the leader in that situation. Why? Because whoever comes in and sets the temperature, you change the narrative. Story is still the same, but you change the narrative. If I'm sitting there with my buddies, people that I really do know, and all they're talking about is, or if I'm with some business people here, and I noticed that you've got several people talking about politics, talking about this. Well, and the conversations about an ex-distributor and this failure here and this failure here, and this guy went from this company to this company to this company, and we're at dinner, and it's all about somebody else who has nothing to do with Ibüümerang. Okay? I'll ask a question. Yeah, tell me, Joe, let me ask you a question, man. Who's the most excited new person in your organization? How many people do you have who sponsored, 2 people in their first week? We're still talking about network marketing, but now I'm going to ask a question that it doesn't feel like, I didn't make them feel like what they were talking about was embarrassing. I just asked a question, and now I can start to ask more questions from that question to reel it back into what's productive. Oh, you know what? I don't really have anybody who sponsored 2, Oh, no problem. Well, let me ask you a question. What are you using right now what systems are you using to build your business? Are you using Zooms? Are you using one-on-ones or whatever? Oh, I'm using one-on-one. Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Who is it that you're working with and teaching right now? Is there anybody that you're that's modeling you right now? So I start asking these questions, and the next thing you know, I've changed the entire direction of the conversation. They don't even know it, but you know what they feel? They feel like, man, this guy's the leader. Okay, and I'm letting you know that you can start to do that wherever it is that you are. Now, what does this have to do with being able to change your 2024? Because to change your 2024, if you can't lead a group of 1 or 2 people, you're not going to be able to lead a group of 25. You know, normally a sapphire is leading a group of anywhere between 25 to 35 new people that join their team. Can you actually get on a conference call? You're a brand new sapphire. Can you actually garner the support of at least 10 to 15 people to join your conference call? And be able to ask the right questions or say some of the things that are needed and necessary to garner their support to move forward in whatever the pursuit is in the business. See, if you can't do it at the small level, if you can't do it at the barbershop, if you can't do it at the dinner table, if you can't do it when your homies come over, if you can't do it, when maybe with your girlfriends, if you've got girls' night out or whatever that may be, or then you're not going to be able to do it in business. And so I want you to understand that if you learn how to change the narrative in your own life, you can change the narrative in your neighborhood or in your home and in your neighborhood. And then you start learning how to change the narrative of other people, of the situation of other people. And the art form of being able to do it is being able to change the narrative when they don't even know the narrative has changed. This is called how to close. See, when I change the narrative of people, it's because people have told me, oh yeah, this sounds really good, Mr. Bugs, but this really sounds good, but I want to think about it. You know what? That's a very important statement. Making this type of money and having this type of freedom is a lot to think about. Let me ask you a question. Where do you think you'll go when you get to $10,000 a month? See, all I'm doing is changing the narrative. I'm not being offended by, why are they telling me no? It's because they're afraid. They don't dislike the business. They don't not want to do the business. They're little fraidy cat babies. Yeah, 60-year-old men, 300 pounds, afraid of their own shadow when it comes to fear of failure or even fear of success. And so when a person tells me no, they're not saying no to, how could you say no to multiplying money? How could you say no to traveling the world at up to 70% off and getting a 50% commission check on what somebody else saves? How could you say no to that? If their job came in, if they went to their job on Monday morning and the boss comes into the office and says, hey, listen, we've been thinking of a way for you to earn more money at our company. I believe we can give you a 10% increase every single month. What do you think they're going to say? No, I'm not interested in that. Do you know for a 10% increase on somebody's income every month on their job, do you know they'd be willing to put in double time? They'd be willing to go from 8 hours to 16 hours a day to have 10% increases compounded for a year. So are they not interested in the increase of the money? No, it's just that you don't understand how to move them and change the narrative to make sure that they understand what it is that you're talking about and lead them to making the right decisions for them. This is why you've got to be the sheepdog, not the cow. See, the sheepdog knows, see, the cows are sitting over here and there's a lion over there. The sheepdog can look and see that there's a lion. Even the cows can look and see that there's a lion. How many of you have ever watched, I love watching National Geographic and all of this stuff, right? And you'll see, they'll sit there, it's a lion over there. And they just sit there and they look, there's a lion, but I'm hopeful that the lion is full. And so they sit there and they can't protect themselves. The sheepdog knows there's a lion over there. So the sheepdog gets them and moves them to this way so they can get out of harm's way. That's who you are. So when I'm sitting down with a prospect, I already know there's a chance that this person may not have ever made financial decisions that forward their life or their family. They're not comfortable doing that on their own, so they need some help. I'm the person you need. Oh, I want to think about it. Man, you know what? I think you should think about it. Of course you should. Matter of fact, what we've put together is we've put together a Think About It kit. And I'm going to introduce that in a minute. I'm serious here. We've put together a Think About It kit. Yeah. And I'll ask some more questions. Let me ask you a question. What type of information, what type of information are you thinking about? How much money you're going to make? Or, some of the people that you'll have to hire to help you manage it. See, if I'm the leader, they're going to answer one of those two questions. They're going to answer one of those two questions. So it's okay if you want to think about it. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, here's what I want to do. I want to wait to the beginning of the year. Let me ask you a question. Yeah. What was your New Year's resolution last year? Well, did you have a New Year's resolution to make more money last year? Yep. Okay. Did you hit your goal? No. Okay. What about the year before? In the year before? Okay. If you're like me and many other people, before I really made a major decision, I would make these New Year's resolutions. And it would be the same resolution every single year. You know why? I always waited to the beginning of the year where everybody else. What I found is I start studying successful people is when opportunity came their way, they made the decision at that moment. My question is this: how much longer do you want to do it the unsuccessful way? Or would you like me to lead you and show you how to change your life, get that car, get that boat, whatever it is? Yeah. Just keep it simple. Don't be argumentative. Don't try to learn the tricks of the trade and try to make them feel bad about their indecisiveness. No, let them know that you are right there. You're there with them as they're making a decision. You're there to lead them into making a decision. That's what your job is. This is what we do. Okay. Whether you know it or not, you are a salesperson. Stop saying, oh, I don't like sales. Okay. You've been selling your entire life. The job you have right now, you sold yourself. There was an interview. And what you did is you wanted to present your best self. You sold your resume. Your resume was your marketing. You marketed yourself before you sold and sealed the deal. You submitted a resume, which is a bunch of lies that have never worked for you. We all know that. So it's all your marketing. Basically, what you did with your resume is the same thing you do when you post your Instagram pictures. What you did is you took all of the filters and you made this look perfect, which I am proficient in Excel, which you don't even know how to even execute Excel. But you put that on there, all of these things that you've done. Oh, I led sales teams and we actually doubled said all the stuff that you know for a fact that you've never done. It's your marketing approach. And you did enough marketing so that you can finally get an interview. While somebody's going to look at this resume and say, wow, this is a great candidate here. Let's talk to her or him in person. And we talk to them in person, and now the salesperson in you comes on. Okay. Well, tell me, Holton, how do you handle conflict? Or tell me tell me what's one of your biggest strengths and use. Oh, I'm very good at communicating and relate to other people, and I'm a leader, and here's what I've done. Tell me what's one of your skill sets that you're not so good at. Well, I've just got too much patience with people, right? And so now you're selling yourself of how perfect you are. And you get the job. Take that same skill set and sell people on buying for themselves. I never look at a person when I'm sitting down in front of a person thinking that this person is joining for the purposes of me making money. I'm sitting down because I know that they need the knowledge that I have. I'm sitting down saying my job is to save this person from themselves and to give this person the opportunity to live tomorrow, okay, like they've never lived before. This is kind of what's going on in my mind. This is why when I'm talking to a person, I have patience. This is why I sit down with a person and I'm listening to the things that they actually say. Why? Because I'm going to change that narrative. Okay. There's almost no question that you can ask me. If I'm sitting in front of a person, if I want them to do something, there's almost nothing that they can tell me that I don't have another question for them that can actually change the narrative and get them to see the bigger picture. Now, if they just finally say, something dumb like, I am just lazy. You know what? I thank you so much for your honesty. I really, really appreciate it, and I wish you much success. And then I'm out. Why? Because if they're admitting that they're lazy, I am not here. This is not a social club. All right. And so I'm not going to be here to try to convince a person that I'm not here to try to wake you up to remind you that you've got a heartbeat. No, I'm looking for lookers. And if you told me that you've got dreams and goals and aspirations and things that you want to accomplish, that's my role and that's my job. Okay. Now, as we do this and get ourselves prepared for 2024, we must understand how to change the narrative, right? Remember I said change the narrative in a room? You have to learn how to change the narrative in the mirror. Change it for yourself. So I want to talk to you right now about changing a narrative for yourself. Yesterday, I had a call with diamonds. And then after that, we had a sapphire and above call. And it was just so great to see all of those people on the Zoom here. And we talked about a little about, what I wanted to discuss here today, specifically regarding changing the narrative with yourself, having a different picture. I was talking to him about trading and how my narrative was I had a narrative of what I should make from trading from the very beginning. My first experience in trading was cryptocurrency. That was at the time that Bitcoin had first hit 10,000. Okay. And when Bitcoin hit 10,000, I was trading and I was the most consistent trader that you've ever met. I lost every single trade. To become rich, all you had to do was whatever I was doing, do the opposite, and you probably wouldn't be on this call. You'd be sitting somewhere with probably 1,000 Bitcoin in your wallet. Okay. I lost 100% of my trades. I lost. Okay. Didn't know anything about it. I just heard about this new phenomenon called Bitcoin. They said it's going to hit 10,000 and everybody. So I jumped in and I start trading Bitcoin and whatever it was. And next thing you know, I'm just watching it. I was what they call, they should have put me in Las Vegas. I probably would have made more money than the other magicians there at making this, the disappearing acts. I can get everybody's money or my money, and I can just make it disappear, every time. Nobody knew where it went. All right. And I was better than Chris Angel. Okay. And when I started, that's where my mentality was. And then I moved into trading stocks during COVID. And I had a different picture. Why? What changed my picture? What changed my picture is the coach that I had changed the picture. Many of you have heard me tell the story of a gentleman. He was 21, 23 years old at that time. And he goes by the name Cam the Man. And I was watching Cam the Man, who took $1,000 and turned it into $1 million. And he did it in less than 6 months. And then he took the million. He says, what I'm going to do this year is turn $1 million into 5. And then his third year says, I'm going to turn 5 into 30 million. And so listening to him, that a person can go from $1,000, because see, I can go from 1,000 to 0 real quick. It didn't take me a lot of time to do that. I was fast at going from $1,000 in Bitcoin to 0 Bitcoin. But he went from 1,000 to 1 million in 6 months trading. And so now I had a whole different picture. Why? Because a 23-year-old changed my thought process. So when you guys hear me say I learned trading from the beginning and on TikTok, it was because I watched all of his videos. This is before we had Elevate. This is me going out searching and looking at all these different people and all of this information, the wrong information that was out there, learning 50 different methodologies. Okay. Didn't work. But I honed in on one methodology. It wasn't that the other ones didn't work. I honed in on one person who had a different picture, and he helped me change the narrative of what was possible. So when we started Elevate and we started trading foreign exchange currency, Forex, my picture of what income could be made was different. I had a whole different paradigm. And so I want you to remember that we all carry paradigms along with us wherever it is that we go. How you do anything is how you do everything in general. How you do anything is how you do everything. So my thought process about money, and my thought process about success, your thought process about the speed of recruiting, how much money you should be making, that's a paradigm that you have. So what I want you to do is I want you to start the process of changing your own narrative, understanding that it doesn't take as long as you've been taking. For some of you, you can speed this up. Some of you right now, maybe you're in a paradigm that, what I do is I do one presentation a week, or I prospect one person a week, or I make, maybe I'll make phone calls to prospects only if I go out and meet somebody. So what that is you're not making a quality decision, you're making a quantity decision. Okay. And I want to be honest here, okay? And I want some real feedback. And real feedback comes, the only way you grow is you give real feedback. How many of you right now, your list is down to less than 10 hot prospects? How many of you in your pipeline right now, you've got less than 10 names to call about an opportunity meeting? Less than 10 right now. I want honesty, yes. I mean, I'm not gonna call you out, whatever it is, but I want honesty. I want to show people that this is real. Because some people feel like they're by themselves. Okay, so you see the people here, they've got less than 10 quality names in their list. So what that means is that you're on the verge of going out of business. I'm going to show you how to change it. You're on the verge of going out of business. What business are you in? When it says network marketing, network marketing is about creating a network. Okay. And if you can imagine what we call the pipeline, if you can imagine the water hose and this fire hose, and through this fire hose, you should have prospects coming through your fire hose. Now, the size of the pressure, okay, if you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 droplets of water coming through your water hose or your fire hose, how far can the water shoot out? It's just going to drip out. You say, well, I'm going to do this for 2 years. I'm going to let the water drip for 2 years, and maybe I will have a puddle. Maybe I'll have a pool. Nope. In 2 years, the little bit of water that you have drip out is actually going to evaporate. It's going to evaporate. And so, because what you're thinking is, if I just stay here long enough, one day it'll happen. It's not true. For something to happen, something has to happen. So a fire hose is designed to sustain pressure. So if I've got more pressure, more water, more prospects coming through my fire hose, the further the water can shoot out. It's the same thing with your business. The larger the checks are going to shoot out, the more the more prospects that are coming through my network. So if I don't have 10 hot prospects, less than 10 hot prospects, what do I think my team has? Your number one job in this business, remember guys, don't shy away from network marketing. Okay, don't shy away from network marketing. We're in network marketing. Our job is to network. So that means that on a daily basis, our funnel, our pipeline should be filled. There's 2 ways to fill the pipeline. Number one, I start the process of filling the pipeline with the current list that I have, whether it's all the contacts that I have in my phone, relationships of people that I actually have, my online list. I won't talk about online marketing, but do not go to your social media and start posting about Elevate and start posting about, oh, do you want to make money this? Do you want to make money? Do you want to make your money multiply? Don't do that on your social media. It's not going to work. If you ever do online marketing, you show results of what you're doing with hints of where it came from, and people will ask you, how do I get involved with that? Tell me what it is that you're doing, okay? That's a whole nother chapter of marketing, but we won't go through that. But there's a way for you to contact or get in contact with your current list of online marketers. How many of you made the mistakes of going out thinking that if I just tell everybody that they can make their money multiply, I've got 10,000 followers on all my platforms, then everybody's going to come and I'll go down. How many of you made that mistake thinking that you can go tell people what you're doing on your social media, thinking that people were going to inbox you and everybody was going to sign up? And then you realize that, oh, it doesn't work. Why? It's called network marketing, not net luck marketing. So you have to be on purpose with filling your pipeline. So that means that if you've got a team, you want to make sure your team always has over 10 prospects in their pipeline at any given time. Okay. A very good, healthy medium would be having 25 callable names at any given time. Now, that doesn't mean you walking around, I got 25 now, man, I'm not going to call anybody because I'll drop down to 24. No, I'm talking about every week you are making prospecting phone calls to people that you're meeting. Why? You're building your network. Stop being embarrassed about being in network marketing. Some of you, that's the reason you can't get over the fact that this is incredible. I want you to ask you a question. If you were a politician, would you be meeting new people? Yeah, why? You're networking for their vote. You can't find a person who's running for office. I want you to pretend that you're running for office. You're running for the office of Diamond. How do I get there? I know I got to have enough votes. What constitutes a vote? Someone who says, yep, I want to get involved with Ibüümerang. And so now you're on a campaign. You're always campaigning. If you ever watch a politician, they're always shaking hands, introducing themselves wherever it is that they go. I've got several friends of mine who are politicians. The mayor here of Houston, Texas, is a very good friend of mine. And I watched him long before. I watched him when I was in college. He ran for mayor and lost. And I would watch Sylvester Turner come through the college campus, meeting new people all the time, meeting people. And the connection that he and I made was not in college. We made it at church. It was a couple of years ago. I saw him at church. We made some connection. And when he was running for mayor of Houston the second time and he won, it was because he networked with me 10 years earlier. I wasn't ready then, but I was ready later. I was one of thousands of people, tens of thousands that he had met long before. I remember this guy. He's still at it. Wow. You know what? I'll support him. Develop an attitude that people, man, you're still at it. I see this guy's always networking. If you're a club promoter, can you be a silent club promoter? If you open up a restaurant, what are you doing? You're networking. You're going to events. I've got a friend, he and his wife, they own a furniture store. And his wife, she goes to all of these different events not because she just wants to be in the limelight. She's going there to network. Why? Because she knows people are there, people live in houses, and people who live in homes or apartments, they also need furniture. So I'm going to go be on the scene. I'm going to network, get to know me. I get to know you. I'm giving you my card. You're giving me yours. I'm introducing a little bit of what I do. I am networking. You're not going to buy furniture at the event, but when you think about buying furniture, I want to be the person that you think about most. It happens all the time. I get messages all the time. I got a message. Let me see if somebody sent me a message the other day. Let's see here. Let me take the blur off. This message right here. It says, if this number still belongs to Mr. Buzz, could you give me a call? This is Jackie Mitchell, a former NFL player that you introduced MLM to many years ago. I'm retired now, and I would like to catch up and see how business is going and which businesses you're in that you're a part of now. I look forward to speaking. Have a great day. Why? I am a networker. I don't even know who this is. I don't know who Jackie is. Jackie knows me. That's what's important. It's not important. People say, oh, it's also important who you know. That's not true. It's important who knows you. Who knows you? Okay. I get these calls all the time. I get them on Instagram. Some people text me up all the time. I got one the other day as well. What he says? He says, what did he say here? Guy named Omar. Okay. Hi, Mr. Bugs. How are you? I was here with my collaborators, and I was wondering if it's possible to do a training Zoom with you. We need to move to a new level. You are the strongest and the most aware. You are number one and have taught everyone the best. Can we have a Zoom, please, with my team? Now, he's not in Ibüümerang. But what are you known for? He's in a whole nother network marketing company. Wants me to get on a Zoom and train his team. Why? It doesn't matter. I don't know him that well. He knows me. Are you the go-to person? That's a person in the pipeline. It's who knows you. That's important. Are you making it known? You don't have to go out with Ibüümerang t-shirts on, but what do you represent? I represent success. I represent leadership. I represent the answer. I represent solutions. I'm the solutions person. I've got a buddy of mine right here in the city of Houston. And I've known him. I met him years and years and years ago. His name is Bill Russell. When I think about cars, I only think about Bill Russell. Why? Bill Russell made sure that if you were going to buy a car in the city of Houston or in Alabama, if you were from Houston to Alabama to a couple other states, people would drive from out of state and come and buy cars from Bill Russell. He don't know them, they know him. And Bill Russell was the only guy that I knew who was a car salesperson, okay? Who was a car salesperson. He didn't have his own desk. Car companies would actually bring Bill Russell in. Bill Russell chooses, hey, listen, I'm gonna come sell your cars. He had an office at 5 of the major car dealerships around Houston. Why? Because people know him. He was on radio on Saturday mornings. And people knew him, so when they thought about cars, they thought about Bill Russell. He was the only guy who lived in an 8,000 square foot home, made more money selling cars without owning a dealership than any person I've ever known. Why? Because people know Bill Russell. Who knows you? Who knows you? What are you known for? What's your pipeline? How many of you have in the pipeline? If I call Bill Russell up right now, if I put him on the phone on speakerphone and I say, Bill, did you sell a car today? He'll say, what do you mean sell a car? Okay. He hires an entire staff. He has his whole family, his daughter, sons, they all work they don't work for the dealership. The dealerships allow him to hire his own team for all the people who come asking, hey, listen, I'm here to see Bill Russell I want to buy a car. These are successful people. But I can guarantee if I call him right now, if I put him on speakerphone and call him, he's not going to be talking about politics. He's not going to be talking about religion. He's not going to be talking about sports. He's going to talk to me about something impactful that he just recently learned. Why? Successful people keep the ball moving. Guys, what I'm teaching you is how to become a narrative changer, how to change you. When you change you, anything that you touch now becomes successful. Anything you touch becomes successful. So what narrative are we going to change? Now that you understand I can think bigger, now that you understand I am a networker, how many people are you going to meet today? You don't have to go out hunting people. Oh, let me go find it. I got my spear and I'm going to go hunt people and got me one. Yeah, I'm going to put them through the process and see what they do. I'm going to shake them up and see if they have a first class pack in them. No, you're building a network. I'm cool. Now, I used to do that in the beginning. I was desperate. I was thinking I had to go get people while my upline is going to be embarrassed. I'm going to be embarrassed because my upline, sees I don't have any people coming to meetings. So I go out with my spear. No, I go out now. I just meet people as a distributor. I meet people. Now I'm in the multiplying money business. I am known for multiplying money. Last week I came on and told you guys about a guy who reached back out who wants to get sponsored. Why? I'm known for whatever it is that I'm known for. They're gonna know me. They're gonna find me. They're gonna find me. Are they gonna find you? It doesn't start off that way immediately. But these are calls that I get from people that I met years ago. But it's a pipeline of people who know me. And every now and then people get off the pipeline looking for me. Now, I'm not saying that you're building a business whereas you just sit back and people are going to come join your network. No, what I am saying is you have to actively go out and build a pipeline. Ask questions. If you're sitting there and you're on a bus, if you're on the subway or train station or whatever it is, ask questions. Stop trying to get everybody in your business. Ask questions. Hey, let me ask you a question. With the climate that we have right now, what's one secret that you have over the next 24 months as an economic secret that's going to, actually get you where you want to go? You have any ideas? See, who asks questions like that? Successful people. That person sitting there like, oh, of course I don't have any idea. I'm a cow. I do the same thing that everybody else does. And this is why I'm able to live in my comfortable life, because none of my other cow friends have plans. And when someone like you asks a question that you know for a fact he hadn't, they look and ask you, well, what about you? Oh, well, yeah, I actually work with a team of professionals and non-professionals. And what we do is we actually basically take people and check their money resume. What do you mean money resume? Let me ask you a question. How much work experience does your money have? I don't understand. Oh, well, work experience. What we teach people is how to take their money and send it out to work, and their money actually goes to make more money. And many of them start with as little as $1,000. And I don't say, okay, give me your name and number. Give you a presentation. I have shut my mouth. Well, hold on for a second. You do what? Yeah, we just, we teach and train mostly non-professionals, but a lot of professionals as well, how to take their existing money, send it to work, and the money comes back multiplied. Many of them start with as little as $1,000. Well, what kind of results that they have? Oh, I thought you'd never ask. Instead of me telling you the results, let me just show you real quick. I go to my social media page and boom, I pull up Kelly Oapu, and I go to Trade Warriors and I pull up, I'll pull up, all the testimonials that's on there. I'll pull up Carlos Gutierrez's, his testimonial that's on there. I'll pull up, we got several different people that are on there. I'll pull up all of these testimonials that we have. I say, these are just a few of the people. How can I get more information? Oh, you know, here's my contact details. What's a good number that I can reach you outside of home and outside of work? Oh, here's my mobile number. All right, no problem. Maybe I give you a call and introduce you to a concept, you know, that you can see if you qualify for your money to be multiplied. Man, okay, sounds good. Boom, he's added to my pipeline. Yeah. I'm in the subway. I'm standing in line. Let me ask you, I'm standing in line at the grocery store. I'm not going to waste my time. And somebody's sitting there next to me, or I'm in the elevator, somebody's sitting there next to me. Become the leader. Stop standing in an elevator doing the same dumb thing that you've been doing for years. Here's what you do when you get in an elevator. We're all cows on here. We don't want to look each other in the eyes. We're in an elevator. I'm afraid of you. You're afraid of me. I don't want to make eye contact with you, because if I make eye contact with you and this close, you may ask me a question and make me talk. So I'm going to hold my head down, and I will only raise my head when I hear the button beep to let me know where the floor. Oh, not my floor. Put my head back down. Moo. Moo. It's what cows do. Just practice it. Walk into an elevator and say, hey, who in here is going to have a better 2024 than your 2023 was? Don't have any intention. Watch how uncomfortable people get. Watch it. Just have fun with life and watch. Nothing's going to happen to you. Nobody's going to say anything bad to you. Nobody, they're not going to kick you in the elevator. They're not going to close you in. They're not going to team up. Why? They can't team up. They won't even look at each other. You'll leave feeling how simple it is to be a leader. Walk in and speak to everybody in the elevator. Walk in the elevator. Who's ready to go all the way to the top with me? And watch how everybody now, you'll give them permission to smile. So you think it's about, it's just about practicing the right habits of leadership. Okay. And how you do anything, what? It's how you do everything. So when you put your head down in the elevator, you put your head down when prospects who are walking right next to you, who's been sitting at home, hoping and praying an opportunity, but you've got the elevator mentality. So you missed them. Yep. Just have fun with life. You'll start to notice how much fun life really is, and you'll start to notice how easy people really are. They're afraid. People are fraidy cats. The majority of people are right now afraid, and they're looking for the sheepdog who has courage. Okay. Last part I want to tell you about is this here. Activity-wise, what are we going to do? First of all, you're going to build your list, get your pipeline up. We're changing the narrative. We're changing the whole narrative of who we are and what we can do and how big things can go and how fast they can go. Years ago, I did a training. Some of you've heard of it, some of you've not. It's I don't know if we put it in our iBoomHub.com library, but I did a training for a gentleman who does training in network marketing, and it's famously known as the Red Jacket Training. And it's the #1 training that has ever come out of his company. Okay, the Red Jacket Training. When I did that Red Jacket Training, it shook up the entire industry, and it gave those people the recipe, and it gave them permission to work faster and think bigger and faster than they've ever thought before. Because prior to that moment, the industry was okay with 6 figures a month income. And 6 figures, if you made 6 figures, it was like you were a genius, a god or a goddess. And because I read the book, or actually start listening to How to Make Quantum Leaps in My Network Marketing by Mark Yarnell, and I start developing a quantum leap mentality about how things should go and how they will go, my mindset completely changed. And so I didn't think in terms of 6 figures a month. I started thinking of 6 figures per day. That was my mentality. First, I wanted to get to 6 figures a week. Now, by the way, when I started this training, I had never even made $10,000 a month. But I'm starting to train my mind on 6 figures, at least 6 figures a week. I wanted to change the paradigm. And so when I did that red jacket training, I actually shared when I started some new activity in business, what my schedule was like. And when I showed what my schedule was like, I highlighted it in the video of how I kickstarted my business. I remember the crowd sitting there like, that's it. We have permission. We can do more than one meeting in a day. This was kind of the mind. You could see people. I'm looking at them in the crowd, and the next thing you know, I hit $1 million a month in income. I'd already hit $1 million a month in income by the time I did the training. But when I released that information, what happened is it was like the Roger Bannister effect. You start to see once the first 4-minute mile was broken, then you saw people take that red jacket training, use it throughout their group, and think much bigger, much faster is the famous quote that I have from that. People use it all over the world now. And they start giving themselves permission to grow their business much faster. And when they gave themselves that permission to grow their business faster, we start seeing more 7-figure monthly earners than ever before. It's not a big deal in network marketing today when you see a person make 7 figures a month. I've got 2 young ladies that's joined the 7-figure club. Both I was able to help. One recently, deceased and passed, but I mentored her when she got to 100 grand a month. Her upline gave me a call. She says, "Hey, listen, you really need to. She really wants to learn from you. Y'all are very, very, very similar. She's just a female version of you." Okay. And we had some, conversations, I shared some things with her. Next thing you know, she's the #1 earner in network marketing, making 7 figures a month. She just recently passed away. Another one is someone that I still mentor. Matter of fact, I was in Miami and we had a meeting probably about 2 months ago. We had a breakfast meeting and got to 7 figures a month. Okay. So what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that once the information is out, you can easily change the narrative. All they did was change their narrative. They just needed permission to know that they could. This call has been designed for you to know that you can. Some of you are probably sitting there like, well, why don't he give me more strategy right now? I have. Some of you are like, oh, give me the X's and O's. I can tell you the playbook, but if you don't understand what I'm talking about now, if we don't cultivate the mind prior to planting the seed, it doesn't work. You have to take this information that I'm sharing with you and understand the information that I teach and train is for you. It's not for Ibüümerang. Ibüümerang just happens to be a vehicle that we do have that allows you to take what you're hearing, what you're learning. So here's how this works. You've heard me talk about the cows. You've heard me talk about the rhinos, the sheepdogs. You've heard me talk about changing the narrative. You heard me talk about being a strong fish. You heard me talk about being a leader. You've heard me talk about, having that elevator mentality and letting opportunities pass you by. So I've kind of woken up your senses right now, okay, for you to understand. You heard me talk about how to change the narrative in conversations with your people. You heard me talk about changing your own narrative in terms of how fast something can be done and how big something can be. So that means that you need to take that and say, okay, what opportunities in my life? What am I working now? See, if you're not working on anything in your life, this is just a bunch of conversation. You have to be working on something to apply it. It's like if I give you a set of tools, or I give you a toolbox, what good is a toolbox if you don't have a project? I'm the tool guy. I'm giving you the tools here. Okay. So if you're not building a house, well, what good is it, for me to give you roofing materials? It's just going to be like, what does he put this stuff over here for? Okay. So you got to be building a business and now how do you apply? Because some of you need to learn, how do I apply it? Okay. I can think bigger. when he thought bigger, here's how he thought bigger. Here's why. Here's what the result is. And is my thought thinking limited? Am I thinking too small? Can I increase my thought process? Okay, yeah. All right. Well, if I've got less than 10 prospects, what can I do to get to 25 prospects? What can I do to get to 100 prospects? Okay. And so now you put that work in and you start to see it come to reality. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to blitz our way through the end of the year. Okay. We're going to blitz our way through the end of the year. All right. And so we're going to start this. We're going to start this next week. Okay. Let's get the date here real quick. Hold on 1 second. That we'll have it all ready. Let me go to the calendar here. And I'm going to share with you how you blitz, why you blitz, and what we do for the blitz. Okay. So, what we're going to do is this here. Okay. We're going to be preparing, getting all of this ready. All right. That we're going to start from the 11th. Okay. Now, we all know that many of you are going to be doing your Christmas stuff. Okay. During Christmas time. I'm not going to tell you to, okay, you need to be on Christmas Day, you need to be focused on building your business. No, enjoy your family. Okay. But we're going to start on the 11th with blitzes. Okay. And let me share with you what I mean by blitz. Okay. We're going to race through December 31st so that you set up your January in 2024 differently. So how does a blitz work? A blitz works by putting together a series of activity back to back. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Opportunity calls and Zooms, however it is that you present the business. What I want you doing is getting with your leaders, getting with your team, getting with your organization. Okay. And whoever your leader is that you're working with, I want you to, number one, find out from them, call your upline. Hey, listen, I want to know with this blitz that HB was talking about, do you have something planned for us? Or is it something that I need to put together on my own? Or is it something that I need to plug in with one of my other leaders? Okay. Because I want you doing it as a part of a team. And I'm going to share with you how this should progress and how this looks. I believe that we can put 5,000 new people in the business between now and the end of the year. What? Yes, I believe we can. Now, right? And so what I want us focused on is being able to just multiply what it is that we're doing. I don't want you to lose focus. I don't want you to feel like, okay, because some people think when they hear something that, I'm losing focus, I'm changing focus. No, this is nothing more than the same thing you're doing. I'm just intensifying the recruiting process. Every one of you, if you ever tell me, oh, I'm not focused on recruiting, I got a new system, you scratch that. We are always recruiting, always recruiting, always. When are we recruiting, guys? When? Put it in the chat. Always recruiting. Okay. Oh, I'm taking a break from recruiting and I'm gonna support my customers. Hogwash. We don't do that. Okay. That's what we got customer support for. We have a team that supports your customers. So we're always recruiting. What we're doing is now going to intensify. So what I want you doing between now and between now and next week, even through the end of Friday, is I want you continually building up your pipeline. Okay. So you need to start today. I want you to take a look at your online list, take a look at your current list, create a whole new list of people, that you haven't exposed the business to. And then I want you to create a list of people that you have exposed the business to. And then I want you to create a list of people who may have fallen off the bandwagon, but you keep in communication with you and they were not negative about the business. Now, here's what we're going to do. The last of the priority is the people who used to be in the business, fell off the bandwagon. Do not go back to those people first. No. The people, that you've contacted before, didn't do anything, that's second priority. Okay. The priority is the fresh new list that you have. And your goal should be every day, add 5 new people to your list daily. That means that you add them and call them the same day. I'm adding 5 new people. Out of 5 people that I add to my list, it may be 2 people that I built enough rapport to call them about these blitzes that are going to be taking place. Now, the company is not going to organize all of these blitzes. It's not what we're going to do. Okay, we're not. But what we're going to do is basically orchestrate and show you what you should be doing from an activity standpoint and how it should be flowing. If you watch the red jacket training, that's exercise number 2. If Tigre, if you can put the link, if we have it, put the link to the red jacket training, that if you've never seen it, watch that training and you'll hear me how I went from a list from 16 people on a call. Later on that evening, my 8th presentation that I had done for that day, I had over 425 people on the call. I went from 16 to 425 people. 425 people total that I presented to in one day. One day. Well, did you have a list of 425? No, started with 16. But I let those 16 know after I did that presentation that there was another presentation that was going to start in 2 hours. And I have to jump off this call because you guys are already either going to be in or not. I've got other people. And I think that next call, I forgot we had 25, or I forgot the numbers, what they were at that time. And we went from there to then 125 to 200 something. And it was a total of 400 plus people that we had all in one day. Do you think I went and trained all of these people? No, I just inspired them. What I did was I was the sheepdog. I was leading the charge. I was the guy who got in the elevator, say, how many of you want to go to the top with me? All right, I'm pressing, we're going all the way to the top. And you know what they did? They did like everybody will do if you walk into an elevator. They'll look at you and you will become the leader and they'll follow. I didn't get on a call and put my head down and say, hey guys, I want everybody here to take me to the top. Do the work, take me to the top. I really need the money. Nobody's going to follow you. Some of you, when you do your blitz, it means that you'll do a call, and some of you will maybe do 2 calls a day. 2 calls a day. Darren, if you, I know Darren's been doing launches lately. Okay, Darren, if you're here in the chat, put how many calls have you been doing lately per day? It's to the point now where it's hard for us to even get on the phone and talk because the work that he's doing down in the organization is the work that he should be doing, And I don't know if he put it in the chat, put it in if he's here on Zoom here. There he is. About 9. Okay. I think I just saw it. What did he say here? He says about 9 launch calls with new people. See, he's blitzing. Why? You start off, the leader starts it off. And then the goal is, all right, so here's how this works. Let me give an example. Now, some of you say, what's a blitz? The blitz is nothing more than a series of calls that you're actually collapsing time frames and doing more. You're doing more in the same time frame. All right. And so we're going to give you a tool that will help you with your blitzes as well. And I'll mention this in a second. We'll close out the call. So what do I mean by that? Is that you start off a call, no matter how big or no matter how small it is, somebody will do a Zoom. With those people that's on that Zoom, you let them know, hey, listen, guys, I know many of you are here today, and many of you are going to make a decision to actually be a part of this business. Here's what we're going to do here. What we're doing is I'm showing people right now how to set up their 2024 and have their best year ever. We're going to be doing another one of these calls. But here's what happens. Some of you are on a call and the person who invited you have multiple people on this call. The way our comp plan structure works is that they've got 2 positions, one on their left and one on their right. Based off of when you enroll in our next call, some of the people have the potential of being below you. And you know what? We're going to do another call after that, and another call after that. Our goal We have a big team goal. We're going to put thousands of people in this business. Thousands of people we're going to put in the business. Some of them can be a part of your network, should you go ahead and act and move fast. What my recommendation is that you do is this here. Here's our next call. My recommendation is, do you know 5 or 10 people that you can actually call? And here, we'll shoot you a script or what to say to them or whatever it is, and have them a part of the next call. I didn't even have to do that because I was so energetic. They knew that I was doing something big. They found a way to get these people on that call. But some of you are going to have to sit with the brand new person that you have that was on that call. Say, hey, listen, the main thing, don't worry about trying to solve the world's problems today. Let's get 5 new people on this call. Watch what happens in your business. Watch what happens in 2024. Let's start the business with, you coming in, having 30, 40, 50 new people in your team. So you put together your schedule. My schedule was, for example, I did a 10, I think a 12 o'clock, a 2 o'clock, a 12, a 10, a 12, a 2, then I did a 4 o'clock meeting, a 6 o'clock meeting, an 8 o'clock meeting. But whatever it was, I know it was 8 meetings I did for the first 2 weeks. Every day I was doing 8 meetings a day. I've never done 8 meetings a day since then, because I did enough in a short period of time that everybody else saw. They're not doing 8 meetings, but some of them were doing 1 a day when they were doing 1 a month. Some went from 1 a year to 4 a week because they saw the leader leading. What Darren is doing is changing the narrative as to what work looks like, so that he's not doing these calls for the top leaders. He's doing them deep down in the organization. And I told him, Darren, don't do these meetings for your diamonds. Why? They're not diamonds if they need you to do their meetings. They should be doing the same thing that you're doing. They should be looking at bottom of the legs of their organization, finding the people and launching organizations. And so you do a meeting and you have a schedule. Hey, listen, the next meeting is in 2 hours, or the next meeting is in 4 hours, or the next meeting is tomorrow. That's up to you. Okay. That's up to you. You figure out how you're going to schedule it and how you're going to do it. What we're going to be doing, we've made some plans for the coming year of how Ibüümerang will look. Here's what you can count on. There's going to be simplicity. It's going to be a lot more simple. We're going to simplify quite a few things that's going to take place in the coming year. Presentation, compensation, our offering, how we deliver things, being able to buy from us. You're going to see simplicity. You're going to see us shed away from complexity and become very simple. Our packages are going to be very simple. Closing out the year, what we're going to do is we're going to put together what I call the Think About It Kit. Okay. The Think About It Kit. What's the Think About It Kit? The Think About It Kit will be available on the day that we start on Monday. Okay. We're not saying that this is the pack that you go and just sell for the purposes of just focusing on this, but we put together a kit that we won't sell just the $49 kit. Okay, what we call standby. But some people are going to say, it's Think About It, and I wanted to think about it. And so, okay, no problem. Well, we actually have that pack, the Think About It pack. What this pack is this here. We're designing a pack. It's going to be $99. And this is only until the beginning of the year that we'll have this in this section here. It'll be $99. Here's the cool thing. It comes with 50 CV. It comes with 100 QV. Okay. You'll earn the fast start bonus. It's a fast start bonus that's in there. It's $99. Okay. It comes with 100 QV. Comes with 30 CV. Why? Because $49 of that really is for the business kit. But here's what they're going to get. We're putting together a product, and that product really is really, I would say that product is worth over $1,000. Okay. And it's going to be a special course with an introduction to wealth mindset, money multiplication, and the basics of Forex. We're going to call it something else. We don't have the name for it, but we'll have a name for it. They're going to get this special course. This is what they're going to get. Okay. And why do I say it's worth in the marketplace? If I wanted to just go out digitally and sell this, I could sell that for $1,000 all day long. Introduction to Wealth Mindset. If I package up this Zoom call here that I just did, and I go out and teach people who want to learn how to think bigger, I can sell this. I can sell this information to the right audience because it's priceless. It's because it works. This is what people are looking for. This is why this guy called me and said, hey, could you train my team? Okay. So this is going to be the Think About It kit. Okay. And you can use that name, if whatever name you want to use. So when you have a person and you explain to them all the other packages and they say, just, okay, I'll tell you what, hey, why don't you do this here? Maybe you don't understand everything that's involved, but would you, if you had the mindset and can think about money the way multimillionaires think about money, would it be worth $100 to you? Yeah. Listen, we've got a pack that normally is around $1,000 of information. For $100, you get yourself in the system, you secure your spot, you get this information, and you'll start to understand why so many people are wanting to join our company. This way, you're not making a major financial decision today. But what I want you doing is go through this information. And what we're going to do before the end of the year is we're going to actually position you properly in the company so that 2024 is not going to be, is going to be majorly different than your 2023 was. Okay. And so we do. So remember, this is your fallback. Okay. This is your fallback. You present it, but this is your fallback. This is not going to be, you only go out and sell this. But why wouldn't 5,000 people, why wouldn't 5,000 people? Right now we've got, I don't know how many people, total people watching. Let's say we've got a total of 1,000 people watching, because we have many watching with groups. If there's 1,000 people watching right now, okay, and let's just say each person here made a list. Each person made a list of 20 new people just today. They categorized their list and made a list of 20 people that have not been exposed. That's 20,000 people. 20,000 people that we're going to put, that now the Ibüümerang pipeline as a company is in the pipeline. How can you tell is your pipeline growing? Look at your rank up, because people, they will be feeding those in the pipeline. That's why we built Rank Up. So you can see, is my group growing? Is it growing? Are we doing the things that we should be doing as networkers? Okay. And so 20,000 people, now we put them through the process. Out of 20,000 people, if 25% of those people join the business, that's 5,000. That's 5,000 new people. If they all came in at $100, which they won't, so what? Guess what? That's 5,000 people that at the beginning of January, we're doing this huge call with all the new people who came in through our blitz, and we're explaining the power of positioning, where people will actually be getting the packages that they want. Now they've got a taste of it. We're not going to give them Elevate. They just get a taste of what it's like. We'll be promoting what we have in Elevate. But now you've got people who are making quality decisions. In the beginning, they're making a quality decision now, but quality decisions. And now you've got new blood, fresh blood. And guess what? You've got all 5,000 people who now put together a list of 100. You know what that is? If half of them, 2,500 put together a list of 100, it's 250,000 people in the pipeline. Do you see how you grow? I'm talking from a company standpoint, but what if you put, 50 new people in your organization? You contributed 50 between now and the end of the year. And 25 of your people put together a list of 100. It's 2,500 prospects that's in your list. In your Rank Up, guys, what would you do with 2,500 qualified people? If you're a networker and if you know how to expose, and this is what we're teaching, how to expose, you get them from the list. How do we give the first exposure? How do we talk to, present to them? How do we do the closing, get them started? And what is that process when you get a person started? Our goal is you get a brand new person started, finding out the what, when, where, and how. What do you want to accomplish? When do you want to accomplish it? Where do you want to go when you make this money? Here's how we're going to do it. This is what I do. The what, when, where, and how. The 4 steps of getting them started in the business. We make sure they put their list together. We set up 4 opportunities to present to their list. Why? Because they've got a pipeline. Add it to my pipeline. I'm going to take that pipeline. I now go to work. As I go to work, I'm working in depth. I'm taking it down. Why? My goal is to get them 4 personally sponsored people right away and take one of those legs 4 levels deep. As soon as I get them 4 levels deep, I already know I have a sapphire. I am developing my next leader. Well, you know what? What if they all came in and it's only 100 QV? So what? Right now, if you're not blitzing, you don't have anything coming in. Guys, what I'm saying is this. I don't hard close anyone. I'm going to be participating here, and I'm going to have a lot of people join at the first class pack. But I'm not letting anybody leave because they don't have the money, or hey, listen, we got to think about a pack, or the Promise Keepers pack. Hey, listen, what kind of promises did you make to yourself in 2022 coming into 2023? Here's a Promise Keepers pack. I want you to keep your promise. And this year, let's make it happen. We got a pack designed just for you right now. Be creative. Understand how to utilize the tools that we're talking about. Okay. And take the pressure off of yourself. Don't be this hardcore salesperson. Be the solutions person. Be the solutions person. Okay? That's it. Just be the solutions person. So is Ibüümerang changing its plan to a $99 program? No, that's not what we're doing. We're just giving you an extra tool that gives some volume. It gives you, and even the auto ship right now on the 40, it comes with no CV. We're going to put CV on the auto ship. That's more money we're just going to give out to the field. We're going to put CV on it. Okay. So you'll have CV with this. But what I want you doing is organizing your blitzes. What's your blitz going to look like? When is your call? What's your schedule? Take the time. I'm willing to commit to 2 calls a week, or I'm willing to commit to a series of 2 calls a day for the first week. Okay. And I'll do this 5 days a week or 6 days or on the weekends, whatever it is, but do much more than you've ever done before. How did I get to the point where that red jacket training became the #1 training in network marketing? It wasn't because I wanted to become the #1 trainer. It was because I thought much bigger, much faster. I never saw anybody do the work and organize and structure the work the way I did. And I knew if I organized my work and structured my work and kept my belief focusing upward in a positive direction, I knew I would do things that nobody had ever done before. And you're no different. Okay? And so what I'm telling you is that I developed a model, and I want you to develop this model as well. And we'll close out. I'll do today what others won't, but I'll live tomorrow like others can't. I will do today what others won't do, but I'll live tomorrow like others can't. And it starts today. Change your paradigm. Change the narrative. You're bigger than you give yourself credit for. You're stronger than you give yourself credit for. You're richer than you give yourself credit for. You're more courageous than you give yourself credit for. You're more positive than you give yourself credit for. Your pen is much bigger than the one you're getting paid from now. Love you guys. I can't wait to see you guys participating in these blitz. Share your information, share the good news, share the story, become the networker that you know for a fact, and I know for a fact that you are. I can't wait to have you in that winner's circle. Love you guys. And I want everybody to have an incredible December. Can't wait to see you guys. And those of you who are part of the HB training series that T. Gray is doing, I will be on that call on tomorrow. So they're putting me to work over the weekend. Love you guys. Peace.